Hey guys, Stitches here. Welcome back to some more Let's Play Pokemon Legends Arceus. Last time, we did the ultimate balloon race after helping Mai out with some of the investigations she had going on. Though supposedly, she never actually wanted us to give her the rice cakes that we ended up giving her. Or the cakes that we gave her. Instead, that seemingly was an imposter. Anyways, this time we have some stuff I need to do, okay? We need to sell some stuff because I've got a lot of things that just can be sold, like... You know, like I had some nuggets and some stardust, and look at how much money I have. We're also gonna run over to the crafts shop real quick. And look at the recipes. Because there are a lot of recipes we just don't own right now. So first things first, we'll get these two. Then we also have the Ox Power Guard. Is it like an X attack and X defend? I could never craft the bean cake or the salt cake before. But now we can craft sticky globs. Now, I believe sticky globs stun for longer. Let me look it up on, Is a description in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Can the item be, like, brought over to Scarlet and Violet via a bug? I would assume the sticky glob probably just is a more reliable source of stun. And I think we'll craft like 50 sticky globs. Actually, it's not even really necessary, is it? We do have some grit items to be used. Got a lot of grit dust. I think we could go talk to Zisu about that. There we go. Might be the first time I have ever used that feature in this Let's Play. I'm not sure. Also, I don't think we've been checking the farm. You know, I wonder if these aren't growing because I'm not, like, actively catching Pokemon. I don't know fully how the farm works. Now we can talk to Mai, though. Our last item of research is to look into massive mass outbreaks in the Alabaster Icelands. Let's finish this together. If you're ready, shall we embark on our investigation? Yes. Let's head to the Snowfield camp. Cold here seems to cut right through you. What are you two doing here? I came to advise you that the massive mass outbreaks seen here in the Alabaster Iceland seem slightly different than the others. The outbreaks happen during rainstorms in other areas, but here they seem to be tied to blizzards. Blizzards, you say? It could just be the cold environment. Of course. But I wonder if there's more to it. Well, we'd better get to it. I think we should look into more outbreak locations than usual this time. I know increasing the scope of our investigation is a lot to ask at this point. And even for someone with your skill, Akari, it'll take a long time to check so many areas by yourself. It's a good thing I'm here to help you out on it, then. I suppose even Leon might be of some use. I'd appreciate the help. This will be your first time investigating these outbreaks, won't it, you two? Try not to overstrain yourselves. Certainly. So, sum it up. Akari will just focus on 3 areas, as she's been doing until now. Meanwhile, Sliggoo and I will handle the remaining areas. Something wrong with your math there, little man. You've left me out of the equation. So you can do basic math, can you? I know how to subtract you from this assignment, for starters. I'll finish all the remaining on your areas on my own. You needn't factor in. I can't tell if they hate each other or if they're both enjoying this. Either way, I imagine they never would have crossed paths if it hadn't been for you. For now, let us focus on investigating the outbreaks here in the Icelands. Pachirisu. It's not exactly... Ow. Is that a Pokemon I'm really meant to deal with? I don't know. It's more Pachirisu. These guys are ghost and normal, which makes them kind of hard to deal with. One thing I kind of always hated as a kid was like when there was a Pokemon I really wanted to use and I found out it was either like version exclusive or super late game. Oh, that one's not looking too good. Throws a little out of my camera render. He gets like super flat. Oh no, it's happening to that guy too. Jesus, ow. Oh yeah, and I remember these guys aren't affected by ghost moves, so I think their weaknesses are just dark. Because they're not affected by fighting either. I remember I was kind of upset though that Ghost Normal like debuted on a Zorua retrain. And like part of what also made me upset about it, right, was like Zorua is one of those Pokemon that like I feel like it's kind of ruined in this game because they changed the battle system. But, like, there's no abilities in this game for the most part. Man, at some point I should do the Duck Life games. Should do that as a part of Web Wednesday. Do Duck Life 1 and 2 as a part of Web Wednesday. 3 and 4 will probably have to be their own thing. Their own, like, playlists, though. I kind of want to see whatever one is up here by Lake Acuity, so... Hey, you tripped me. That's still one of the funniest things about this game is that you can just get tripped by Pokemon in your mid battle. I'm also generally of the opinion that being able to see your Pokemon battle in the overworld like this is generally a feature that I feel like has been like for the worse. It leads to a lot of situations where I feel like the Pokemon just kind of can't look good because they're in an overworld that's like rendering a ton of particles at the same time. Like, for example, here, the snow area has a lot of issues trying to render Pokemon because of the amount of effects on screen. I also think it leads to some weird situations where, like, Pokemon get put on, like, weird rafts and stuff that just kind of, like, pop out of nowhere because you can battle Pokemon. You can battle with Pokemon on water that, like, don't swim. Ow. Huh. It's a good song. No, you're just weird random psychic types that spawn here. There you are. Triple arrows. I remember there's like a joke in the Smash community, which is like Sakurai knows nothing about Pokemon. Because Sakurai will just like have Pokemon characters in Smash Brothers know moves that they can't learn. And a lot of people think it's a really funny thing because it'll be like, I think Pichu can learn agility. Or like, Pichu can't learn agility, but like that's one of its moves. Or it'll be like, there's moves in Smash Brothers that like aren't Pokemon moves. That are just like made up. These ones are Drifloon. You think you're gonna hurt me with fire? These guys are kind of annoying to try to specifically target because they warp around due to being incorporeal. Which do you think would do more damage, actually? Gotta shelter up. Come on, Gooey, you can stay in it. They did make defensive Pokemon in this game also really good for encounters like this, where you're just getting ganged up. Your self-destruct missed, and you didn't take any recoil. This keeps up, like, Gooey's actually gonna, like, tank. Alright, the rest of these guys are just lackey tier, so we can... Jeez, they actually got through Gooey. And keep in mind, Gooey had a strong style shelter up for a good portion of that. I think you're the last guy left. Jeez. And Gooey's supposed to be like the impenetrable shield, too. I think I said this, but originally I was debating whether or not I would use, during the final boss, whether I would use, Dialga and Palkia, and I think, like, ultimately the answer I concluded was that I didn't think it was really a good idea. Generally speaking, like, I have nothing against people who use legendary Pokemon on their team, but I just feel like it's, if every Let's Player used a legendary Pokemon, it's like, it wouldn't be super interesting. There's like a few exceptions. I just feel like here's not one chance where I would make it. So you finished checking the 3 areas you were tasked with. I've gotten word from Melly too, says he's about ready to wrap up. Leon said he and Melly worked together to investigate the last outbreak. Well then, it seems we're done here. You worked tirelessly to investigate across all Hisui. We still don't know what causes these massive mass outbreaks, and they pose a threat to anyone without strong partners at their side. It'd be nice if these outbreaks didn't put anyone in danger, but things rarely work out that easily. Perhaps these outbreaks are someone's way of telling us that we must better understand the Pokemon with which we share vast Hisui. Yeah, I could get behind that idea. But for now, we'd better get going if we want to make it on time. Come along, you two. I think this is also one of the few times the game actually just tells you, hey, like, this is what we're doing. This is the place. We picked the perfect time. What do you think? It's amazing. This lovely space given to us by mighty Palkia, and this fleeting time mighty Dialga gave us. Such a beautiful view is only possible because we have both together. Hisui means so much to me, and my love for it is as vast as the land itself. Tell me, Akari, did you enjoy surveying this land once again? It was a lot of fun. Was it? I suppose it's always thrilling to have mystery to delve into. I enjoyed it too. I heard these massive mass outbreaks trigger some kind of reaction in your Munchlax, Mai. Is he doing alright? He seems fine. Pokemon remain mysterious creatures to us. Who's to say how he does it? I'm just grateful to him for helping us find the outbreaks and telling us what we'll find at each. That reminds me, I've spread the word that the people of Hisui should be alert for massive mass outbreaks during rainstorms. Thanks for that, Irida. Hopefully no more poor souls will wander into one unprepared and take a beating. Seems like our lives are going to keep on changing, and we'll keep adapting just as fast. An ever-changing Hisui. Tell me, Akari, how do you think the future people of Hisui will live with Pokemon? They'll battle in gyms. In gyms? What is a gym, and why would you battle in one, Akari? You say there are places where you can challenge a skilled battler to prove your mettle. Interesting. I'd like to be the one who deems a challenger worthy. Well, whatever may come of the future, aren't we lucky to have been born into such fascinating, fast-changing times? You said it. Not that change is always good, and there will always be people who don't want change at all. But hey, that's life. We'll just have to work hard and push on. And I'm glad we'll have you with us as we do it, Akari. Thanks for everything. You certainly have some curious ideas, but I suppose that's no surprise coming from somebody who fell out of the sky. We may have finished our investigations for now, but Munchlax and I will continue to help you however we can. You know, Akari, perhaps these new outbreaks truly are just a gift from Almighty Sinnoh. A gift meant for you, for all the good changes you've brought to us all here in his city, in Hisui. I almost said his Sinnoh, and then I miscorrected it. It's also like 3:10 in the morning, so... Request 102, Daybreak, complete. You get a Dawnstone, a Seed of Mastery, and 3 large experience candies. Sorry, XL experience candies. Now, I'm not sure if I've discussed it yet, but these quests were actually a post-game free DLC. They were somewhat intended to be placed after the final boss, but they unlock earlier, and honestly, I think it's fine to play them before. Also, hold on, Ingo, you'll get your moment. It's just one of those things where I don't really know how to feel, because it's one of those things where it's very obviously talking directly to the player. Because it talks about, like, have you enjoyed surveying this land once again, but we never finished. It's very clearly meant to be like a thing where you cleared the final boss of the game and then came back to it. Excuse me, Akari. Pardon the imposition, but would you follow me to the training grounds? I called you here for one very specific reason. I wish to have you try your hand at a new form of Pokémon battle. I used to think Pokémon were terrifying creatures. You've helped me see otherwise. Thanks to you, there are some in this village who now enjoy battling with Pokémon. More and more of us now see Pokémon as allies. It's for that very reason that I would like you to continue to further your trailblazing. I believe that taking part in a new form of battle will help deepen our understanding of Pokemon. In the midst of a tough battle, what does your partner desire, and what is your opponent thinking? I believe that you have the ability to sense these things, and we will do our best to learn as well. This is quite a difficult request we have for you, but I'm sure you are up to the challenge. You may ask Ingo here for a more detailed explanation. I leave the rest to you, Ingo. Please let me know when you are ready to try your hand at these new battles. And there's also some new requests. We're not going to worry about that. That's going to be something I'm going to save. Have you tried any of Ingo's Path of Solitude battles yet? Path of Solitude. The Path of Solitude, a chance to master the art of battling with a single Pokemon. Battling a tough opponent with just one Pokemon in your party feels like reaching for the stars. You've really got to know your Pokemon well so you can come up with the best strategy. On that note, I've got a request for you. They say the Path of Solitude is tough to beat. That's exactly what I'd like to see you do. I'd give it a go myself, but those sorts of battles are just way above my level. Bidoof's Path of Solitude. Eevee's Path of Solitude. Not finished yet. Wormadam's Path of Solitude. Abra's Path of Solitude. Blissy's Path of Solitude. Still more to go. Sneasel's Path of Solitude. Rotom's Path of Solitude. Bastiodon's Path of Solitude. Roselia's Path of Solitude. Magikarp's Path of Solitude. Once you've completed the Path of Solitude with any of the Pokemon I just mentioned, come and show me the mark in your Pokedex. So yeah, basically the idea behind this is after you complete the quest Daybreak, Ingo now unlocks with a new type of mechanic, being the Path of Solitude battles. These are different from Zisu's battles. Or these are different from the other battles you could do where they were just trainer battles. These are different in the sense that you just, you can only battle with one Pokemon, and doing so with each specific species will actually give you a Path of Solitude mark in your Pokedex. But, yeah, the Daybreak, the version 1.1.0 update added stuff like the Daybreak quests, the Massive Mass Outbreaks, and all this stuff. It just was kind of like a refresh for the game. Interestingly, the Path of Solitude mark is actually somewhat similar to the Pokemon League mark, specifically the Pokemon League Gym mark, being a Pokeball integrated to a kind of like striking lightning bolt type pattern. Basically, after defeating Ingo in battle, he'll reward the player 3 XP candies for the first time and 3 sacks of grit dust if the player wins with a repeat Pokemon. Additionally, Ingo will give the player an extra reward for every 10 marks they receive. However, the final milestone is gifted at 238. Now, I currently have no plans to try and do all of these. Now, Ingo does have a specific Pokemon he will use as a matchup to every single Pokemon. Which I think is crazy. He'll usually try to use Pokemon that are better. Some of these are pretty easy though, since some of his Pokemon only know like 2 moves. In the if you choose to use Bergmite, he'll use a Riolu that only knows Rock Smash. And this is potentially a reason why you might want to use Pokemon that aren't fully evolved. Now, the Path of Solitude is nowhere near required to complete the game. However, you did see we got a ton of side quests to do Path of Solitude. I will be focusing on these in the post game. Specifically these quests. Because this is much more of a post-game thing than the my requests were. And the my requests are just a good example of, like, padding they added to the game to, like, train up your Pokemon and everything, so... It's one of those things where I'm just like... It's so entirely extra. Oh, that's the Ancient Retreat, right? I don't think there are any more side quests for us to do right now without progressing the story. But we'll be doing that a different time, because I'm just not really in the mood currently to be like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be doing this one, and this one, and this one, firing off back to back to back. So I might end up doing like a super big video that's just the entirety of the Path of Solitude in the post game, specifically in the requests for Path of Solitude. So 108 to 117. A lot of these are really weird because it's like Wormadam and Abra and like Rotom. And there's also hints. Like, you need a well-trained Bidoof. Recommends your EV uses the opponent's moves against them. Also, each of these are like a side quest as well, that with their own rewards. So it's like, you know, face this with one particular form of Wormadam. Exercise caution. Make sure, try to use healing moves. Space-time distortion, Sneasel. Use a specific form of Rotom. Use an item on Bastiodon to swap its offensive and defensive stats. Make your opponent drowsy. Make a very sturdy Magikarp. Now, it did mention that this is also a pretty good way to get grit dust. Where am I? I'm on the bottom floor. That's why I don't know where I am. Dude, why does this look like this? It's so wrong looking. I do kind of wish there was more going on in this building. Like, just NPCs you could talk to. But yeah, the Path of Solitude mode I think is a really cool idea, because I don't think there's ever been like a mode like that. Maybe there was something in the Battle Tower in a previous game. Ginter doesn't have anything to say. There's also the candy guy. Lucky there's a candy guy. EXP candy, the largest cost, 50 fucking thousand. It's not worth it. Anyway. So, yeah, I guess next time we'll be continuing on with our main quest and going to talk to Kogita at the Ancient Retreat. But first, I do want to use these large EXP candies if I can. Alright, so how much do each of these give? It doesn't even say. I guess let's see on O'Brien. Oh, wait. Used a lot. Or on Rishido, rather. Also, I think with Pokemon Home, I might be wrong, actually. Hold on. I don't actually know if Pokemon Home can connect cross-compatible with this game. Weird. I don't know. Pokemon Home's got a lot of weird problems with, like, compatibility. Like, when Pokemon Home came out, it sounded really cool, and then they just, like, didn't deliver very well. It takes them an absurdly long amount of time to try to make the Pokemon cross-compatible. And not only that, but, like, Pokemon Home just has, like, a lot of issues with, like, oh, you can transfer Pokemon from a game, but not back into the game for whatever reason. Like, I remember one thing that was disappointing was you can transfer Pokemon from Pokemon Go to Pokemon Home, but not back into Pokemon Go, and I'm just like, why? Like, I'm assuming it's something with just, like, data, but it feels like there should be a lot more of, like, a unified concept for Pokemon overall. But anyways, I digress because I need to end the video. So thank you all so much for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to hit the like button. You should also subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications. Additionally, check out the links in the description. There's links to my Blue Sky, Twitter, and Twitch pages. There's also a link to my Ko-Fi page where for $3 a month you can become a monthly member and get access to earlier exclusive content. and I'll see you guys in the next one.